You know what I love about being a D.C. local from Reston, Virginia, one of the most powerful places in the world? This tent living of homelessness. And I think the president's driving by, possibly, because the Secret Service is blocking traffic right now. And so generally that's what that means, is that the president's or someone of his stature or rank in the world will be driving by momentarily when they block the street. And sometimes they have multiple routes. So sometimes they block traffic for other reasons, special emissaries, and sometimes they block traffic, but then they take a different route because there's a threat. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's a threat on a presidential route. Maybe like here in Triangle Park. Maybe Triangle Park is a threat on the presidential route. Hey, what do you think about that, Davis? Is this a threat on the presidential route, Davis? Would you say, Davis? Please don't ever say anything weird to me or Maya again, Davis. Thank you. So this is kind of like when I live at NHHRPC when they kicked me out of the homeless shelter for being upset because of violent threats and sexual forwardness from other people there, other men, sexual askings, like, and naked dude in the bathroom. I don't know, a bunch of weird stuff. Like, what is it called when someone, propositions, male sexual propositions in the homeless shelter, and me getting upset and finding out they're on the sex offender list, and I got kicked out, not them, for being upset. They let them stay there. However, and one of them's been out of prison for, now it would be 12 years, and he's homeless still with no job, running the homeless shelter, making gay propositions to new homeless men in the shelter like me. And that was 2 years ago. And what I noticed then was that it was right above the Pentagon, right there at the end of Columbia Pike, right above the Air Force Memorial. There was a big wooded patch there, right above the Pentagon, and the entire infrastructure of that overpasses where all the cars go through on 395 coming into Washington, D.C. from the Beltway and from Virginia into D.C. over the Potomac. The concrete there at Pentagon City and at the Pentagon is all cracking apart on those connections. And I actually sent that to Sarah Schrass, who is a professor at Carnegie University, and she's my cousin, and I sent it to her as a text message and video, different shots of the exposed rebar and cracking concrete and other decay at that intersection, because she studied structural engineering and is now an engineering teacher, and she was a valedictorian of her class at Carnegie years ago. Sarah never responded to my concern, unfortunately. But over there at the Pentagon, they've redone that whole area, and they're redoing the area, thankfully. And I actually made posts about it and tagged them in it. They're people. So I'm hoping I'm making some kind of an impact. And I hope they don't shut this park down before I can get into housing. But this is clearly a threat on the presidential fucking route. And that's fucking true. And, oh yeah, my tent, well, What can you do? Life in the big shitty. That's all right. I'm gonna keep it Rasta. I'm gonna keep that shit square. And you know what that means? A Rasta is basically? It's a Baptist that smokes weed. Although the original Rastas were definitely from Jamaica, and they brought that shit from Africa. So they brought it from Ethiopia. So I'm gonna keep it Rasta here, and yeah. And yeah, this is just real. It's real. It's real as fuck. It's very real.